All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for day number 17 of Donald Trump's hush money trial, where former Trump attorney and so-called fixer, pants on fire, Michael Cohen is at this very moment flapping his lying mouth as he is being questioned by Susan Hoffinger of DA Alvin Bragg's office. And if this all sounds intriguing to you, you can come along with us and listen in because we have a man on the inside updating us live, which allows UnwokeThoughts subscribers a first look at the scene. And of course, I am talking about Inner City Press, who is reporting from inside the courtroom and is telling us everything that is happening, what the judge is saying, what the prosecution is saying, and of course, what Trump's defense is saying. But today we have a star-studded guest list to witness the kangaroo court. First off, we have Republican Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, who is in attendance today.
And we have just learned that sitting House Speaker Mike Johnson will join Donald Trump at the courthouse today. We know that Donald Trump has had people acting as his defenders since he's under gag order. And this is a picture just moments ago of Michael Cohen leaving his apartment, heading downtown to resume that testimony.
So it looks like Mike Johnson is looking to redeem himself with the Trump crowd. And, I'll take it, but I still don't like you, Mike. Sorry, buddy. When it comes to lying, you are almost as bad as Michael Cohen.
The crime that they are accusing President Trump of is falsification of business records. But I think everybody knows he is not the bookkeeper for his company. President Trump is innocent of these charges. And again, anyone with common sense can understand what is happening here. In the midst of all this nonsense and corruption, they have placed a ridiculous and unprecedented gag order on President Trump. They are overriding his constitutional right to defend himself from political smears from his harshest critics at the most important time. He is soon to be officially the nominee of one of the major parties in our country, running for president. And they have him tied up here in this ridiculous prosecution that is not about justice. It's all about politics, and everybody can see that.
Well, at least Mike Johnson, it looks like he's saying all the right things, and he's really good at that. But also we have one of my favorites in attendance today, Vivek Ramaswamy, my personal favorite pick for Trump's VP. But that's not all, because we also have Byron Donalds, Doug Burgum, Cory Mills, and RNC Co-Chair Lara Trump, who are in attendance and are standing behind Trump as he gives his morning press conference before entering court.
The FEC, Federal Election Commission, said there's not a problem, there's no case. And Vivek is here right now so he can speak for himself. He said this is a sham trial. It's politically motivated. It's an assault on the leading candidate for U.S. president. I would expect he would say something good, actually, so I won't go through the rest, but he's here. He's going to talk to you. The Speaker of the House is here. We have Byron Donalds. Cory is here. We have a lot of great people here to talk to you. And they won't let them speak here. I guess they want to make it difficult for them to speak. So for some reason, I can speak here, but I'm the only one that's allowed. The gag order has to come off. So when you ask me a question about the people that we're talking about, I'm not allowed to answer. There's never been anything like this in the history of our country. It's a scam. It's election interference at a level that's never taken place before. And now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go into the icebox and sit for a long time. Thank you very much.
So Trump did mention Vivek Ramaswamy there, and he said he was going to let Vivek speak for himself. So let's hear what Vivek said after coming out after the morning session in court. Listen.
This is garbage. That is the best proof that you have that if they're going to get him Cohen or get him coming, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. This is a sham. This is not the United States of America. This is some third-rate banana republic. If this were happening in another country, we would be laughing at them as a sham democracy. I am ashamed as an American citizen to sit here in a courtroom watching the former leader of the free world, and let's be honest, likely next leader of the free world, sitting with the indignity in this dingy third-rate courtroom with fourth-rate prosecutors and a fifth-rate lawyer on the stand as a witness, who actually is violating attorney-client privilege left and right. Nobody's even talking about that. So this is a shame on the spirit in our country's history, but we will get through it and be stronger because you know who ultimately actually cast the vote on this case? It's not just the jurors in that jury box. It's every one of you at home. It's every American who votes this November to say no to the weaponization of justice.
Man, I love this guy. I mean, he brings the heat every single time. I mean, come on. What do you guys think of Vivek Ramaswamy? Isn't he just great? But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back into the courtroom where Donald Trump has just arrived. He's wearing a blue suit and a gold tie. Wow, the guy is just looking sharp as usual. And he's talking to Todd Blanche in the lead counsel seat at the defense table. All rise. And the clerk says, this is the people of the state of New York against the people of the state of New York. Wow, that's what's written here. Little joke from inner city press. That's funny. And the prosecution gets up and she says, may we approach, Your Honor? And they have a whispered sidebar while Trump leans to his left and he speaks with his other lawyer, Emile Beauvais. Nichols is also in the conversation with the colleague behind her. And then Judge Bertrand enters. All right, bring in the witness and then the jury. And the examination of Michael Cohen continues. And Susan Hoffinger, who is the prosecution, questioning Michael Cohen, says, all right, we're going to put up People's Exhibit 39 into evidence. What is this, Mr. Cohen? Cohen says, it's an email from Jeff McConney to me. And it says, give me the invoices you spoke to Allen about. Thanks, Jeff. Well, on February the 8th of 2017, did you visit the White House? Cohen says, yes, I did. President Trump asked me if I needed money. I said, no. I said I was okay. And he said, be sure you talk to Allen. And did you take any photos, Michael Cohen? And if you did, why? Cohen said, yes. I was visiting the White House, and then there is a photo displayed of Michael Cohen at the briefing room podium. The prosecutor says, this is People's Exhibit 254. What is this, Mr. Cohen? Cohen says, it's my calendar about February the 8th of 2017. Prosecution says, and what about this? Cohen says, that's my reply to Jeff McConney regarding $2. I wrote, please have the January and February checks payable to Michael D. Cohen, Esquire. And Jeff replied, okay, please invoice me. I asked him to remind me of the monthly amount. And why did you do that? Asked the prosecutor. Because I didn't have the document with me. And you didn't have a retainer either, is that correct? Cohen says, I did not. So I created an invoice and I emailed it and it said, Dear Allen, pursuant to the retainer. And had you in fact rendered any services in those 2 months? Objection! From Todd Blanche. Overruled, says Judge Bertrand. Prosecution continues, was this invoice a false record? Cohen says, yes, it was. And the other invoices, were they also false? Cohen says, yes. And did you receive 11 checks in 2017? Cohen says, yes, ma'am. And what is exhibit number 4? Cohen says, this is the check sent to me for $70,000 for January and February of 2017. And did it have a stub attached to it? Cohen says, one of the stubs. The prosecution continues, were the description here on this check stub false? Cohen says, yes, they were. And who signed them, Mr. Cohen? Cohen responds, Eric Trump and Allen Weisselberg from the DJT Revocable Trust. And the March invoice, was it false as well? Yes, it was. And who signed this check? Cohen responds, Don Jr. and Allen Weisselberg. And how about April? Was the description on this check stub false? Yes, it was. And who signed this one, Mr. Cohen? Cohen says, Donald J. Trump. And did you get 8 more? Yes, I did. Cohen continues, this invoice was for the month of June, 725 Fifth Avenue. And it says, Dear Allen, this is a part that Michael Cohen says he cut and pasted. And it continues, this is for 2 months because the check for May was lost. The prosecution asks, well, who signed this one, Mr. Cohen? Donald J. Trump. And in July, Cohen says 725 Fifth Avenue. In August and September, were these also false? Yes, they were. Prosecution says, put up People's Exhibit 37I. Cohen says, this is the October invoice. Is this also false, Mr. Cohen? Cohen says, yes, it is. And how about 37J? Cohen says, yes, this is from November. And is this false as well? Cohen says, it sure is. The prosecution says, check and stub? Are they both false? Cohen says, yes, they are. Prosecution says, how about 37K? Cohen says, December, 725 Fifth Avenue, Dear Allen. Prosecution says, is this false as well? Cohen says, it sure is, ma'am. The prosecution says, was this the last invoice you sent? Cohen says, yes, it was, because now I had been reimbursed. Prosecution says, this check, who signed it? Cohen said, That man right there, Donald J. Trump. The prosecution says, in 2017, did you do any work for Mr. Trump or his wife, Melania? Cohen says, I did minimal work. One matter for Mr. Trump, some reservos, and something about the likeness of Mrs. Trump. And did you receive emails from Alan Garton? Cohen says, very minimal work. Okay. The prosecution says, how many hours did you work for Mr. Trump in 2017? Cohen says 10. And in 2018, as a result of Stormy Daniels going public, Mr. Trump wanted arbitration action to be filed against her. I was contacted by Eric Trump and Mr. Trump, and I worked with Larry Rosen. And did you monetize your position as personal counsel? Cohen said, yes, I used it with 5 clients and I made $4 million. Also, Squire Patton Boggs. They paid me $500,000 bifurcated. I had offices in their space in New York and DC. They wanted me on their letterhead. And did you get subpoenaed by Congress, Mr. Cohen? Cohen says, yes, about Trump Tower, Moscow. And did you have an attorney? Yes, it was paid for by the Trump Organization, subject to a joint defense agreement. And did you make false statements to Congress? Yes, I did. And why did you make false statements to Congress? Cohen says, I was staying on President Trump's message that there was no Russia, Russia, Russia. And did you continue to lie and pressure others to lie about the payoffs of McDougal and Daniels? Yes, I did. And did you speak with President Trump? Yes, I spoke to him through Madeleine Westerhout. And who's on these texts? And she gestures to an exhibit. Cohen says, me and Keith Davidson. And the prosecutor asks, so the joint defense agreement, who benefited from it? Objection! Judge Bertrand sustains this objection from the defense. The prosecution continues, what was your understanding of who benefited from the joint defense agreement? Objection! Bertrand now overrules this objection. And Michael Cohen answers, Mr. Trump. And did you arrange to have Miss Daniels on the Hannity show in this period? Cohen says, yes, but she did not go on. She went on Kimmel instead, but she signed a statement before. And did you know the statement was false? Cohen says, yes, I did. And did you get an FEC complaint? Cohen says, yes. McDermott, Will, and Emery firm replied. And was it false? Cohen says it was misleading. And how about this? It says, quote, big boss just approved me responding. Start writing and I will call you soon. Cohen says, it would be a scoop. And now Judge Bertrand interjects and he says, all right, jurors, this is to help you assess Mr. Cohen's credibility. Neither the fact of the FEC investigation nor the response thereto constitute evidence in this case. And now the prosecution continues. Did you provide this to Jay Sekulow? Cohen says, I did. All right, here's People's Exhibit 217. What did Jay Sekulow write to you? Cohen says he wrote, clients say thanks for what you do. And did you speak with David Pecker? And now we have Trump's attorney Todd Blanche asking to speak to the prosecutor and also asking Judge Bertrand for a sidebar. And after the sidebar, Judge Bertrand tells the jury, the information about AMI is only for you to assess the credibility of David Pecker. Now Cohen continues, I told David Pecker that Jeff Sessions would take care of it. That's what President Trump had told me. And the prosecutor says, did you file for arbitration in California? Cohen says, we had a Trump org California lawyer file it. We served her new counsel. It was Michael Avenatti. And did Mr. Avenatti file a lawsuit for Ms. Daniels? Yes. President Trump would be required to sit for a deposition, so the NDA was stricken. And what happened in April of 2018? Cohen says, I was raided by the FBI. I was in the Regency Hotel at 7 a.m. Tons of people were in the hall. They raided my apartment, my law office, and TD Bank, which had a safety deposit box I had just opened, and they took my 2 phones. After the raid, President Trump called me and said, don't worry, I am the U.S. president. There's nothing to worry about. And have you spoken to him since, Mr. Cohen? No, says Cohen. And did others reach out to you? Yes, they said he has your back. Now the prosecution brings up 3 tweets from April 21st of 2018 and shows them to Michael Cohen. And Cohen says, he was saying, don't flip. And I guess they are taking a break now. Judge Bertrand says, all right, jurors, I will see you in a few minutes. And we are also going to stop there, guys, because we are reading this live. And they went up to, it looks like, lunchtime. And there's only a little bit left in the transcript, so I have to wait for it all to update. And then I can give it all to you guys in another chunk in a second video. So make sure that you're subscribed, that you have the notifications turned on, so that you can make sure that you can watch it whenever I post it. But what do you guys think of the trial today? What do you guys think of what Michael Cohen is saying in this testifying? He really seems to be going after Trump hard. He's saying that Donald Trump had complete knowledge of all of this stuff. He is flip-flopping once again. He said so many things in the past about his relationship with Donald Trump and what Donald Trump had to do with these payments. And it's just another story, right? It's just another story that just coincidentally seems to benefit Michael Cohen a lot. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments what you think of this. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.